Hi, welcome to Dark Patrol Stories. Let's start with this anecdote about a canine that sniffs out a hidden gun. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from the video? I hope you enjoy it. Money has a way of convincing people that they're untouchable. When enough of it changes hands, laws start to feel optional, consequences seem negotiable, and violence becomes just another tool. For years, a criminal organization had operated under that illusion, quietly moving weapons through ports, warehouses, and forgotten corners of the city. They believed they had mastered the system, that nothing could surprise them anymore. They were wrong. The docks were nearly empty that night, wrapped in fog and silence. Rusted cranes stood frozen like skeletons against the sky, and the water moved slowly, reflecting the dull orange glow of distant streetlights. It was the kind of place where footsteps echoed too loudly, and every sound felt exposed. Perfect for illegal business. Perfect for disappearing. A lone warehouse sat at the far end of the pier, officially condemned and forgotten. Its windows were boarded, its doors chained, and on paper it had been empty for years. But paper lies, concrete remembers, and dogs smell the truth. The K9 unit arrived without lights or sirens, just a quiet vehicle rolling to a stop, tires crunching softly on gravel. The handler stepped out first, scanning the area with calm familiarity. Beside him, the German shepherd waited, muscles tense, eyes alert. This wasn't just another patrol. The dog could feel it. The call had been vague. A dock worker had noticed movement where there shouldn't be any. Lights flickering, engines cutting too quickly. No obvious crime, just instinct. The kind of instinct that keeps people alive. The handler clipped the leash, gave a short command, and the canine went to work. At first, the dog moved casually, nose low, filtering through the chaos of old scents. Saltwater, oil, rust, rodents, footprints from days ago. But then something changed. The dog slowed, its breathing sharpened, its ears tilted forward. Fresh human scent. The handler followed, trusting years of training. The dog led him past the main entrance, around the side of the building, toward a row of stacked shipping containers. Most were empty, doors sealed and corroded shut, but one was different. The dog stopped, sat, alerted. The handler's heart rate spiked, but his voice stayed calm. He signaled for backup and approached carefully. Officers forced the container open, metal screaming as the lock snapped. Inside, under tarps and false panels, they found the first cache. Assault rifles, submachine guns, pistols, crates of ammunition packed with obsessive care. Everything wrapped in oil and plastic, preserved like artifacts waiting to be unearthed. This wasn't random crime. This was preparation. The area was secured immediately, but something didn't sit right. The quantity was large, but not large enough. The handler felt it. The dog felt it too. The canine was restless, pulling subtly, nose twitching, as if the job wasn't finished. It wasn't. That's when federal authorities brought in someone who specialized in situations like this. A man who understood how weapons moved, how criminals thought, and how violence escalated when left unchecked. Senior Chief Marcus Rivera, a former Navy SEAL. He arrived quietly, dressed plain, carrying nothing but experience. Years of combat had stripped away anything unnecessary. He listened more than he spoke, watched more than he moved. When he stepped into the warehouse, he didn't look at the weapons first. He looked at the space. "The layout's wrong," he said finally. "This is a staging point." He walked slowly, counting steps, observing scuff marks on the floor, subtle disturbances in the dust. The dog followed him now, interested, focused. Then the canine veered off, pulling toward a dark corner near the back wall. The dog's nose pressed against the concrete. Marcus crouched. "Hollow," he muttered. Officers pried up the floor. Beneath it was a hidden compartment extending farther than anyone expected. More crates, more weapons, enough firepower to arm a small army. This wasn't local muscle. This was organized crime preparing for something big. Worse still, the weapons were new. Recently moved, recently handled. "They're coming back," Marcus said. "Tonight." Instead of clearing the scene immediately, a decision was made, a calculated one. They would wait. Let the buyers arrive. Follow the chain upward instead of cutting it at the bottom. Positions were taken. Lights off. Radios silent. The K9 unit stayed close. Dog alert, but disciplined. Trained not to bark, not to break silence. Time stretched thin as the fog thickened. Then headlights appeared at the edge of the dock. 2 vans, engines idling briefly before shutting down. Men stepped out, confident, efficient. No shouting, no hesitation. They moved like this was routine, like they owned the night. The canine stiffened instantly. That scent again, stronger now. Adrenaline, sweat, gun oil. As the suspects unlocked the warehouse door, floodlights exploded to life. Commands rang out, sharp and final. Chaos followed. One man reached for a weapon and froze when a rifle was already trained on his chest. Another tried to run. The handler released the canine. The dog launched forward, powerful and precise, intercepting the fleeing suspect before he made it 10 steps. A clean takedown. No excess force, just control. The man hit the ground hard, surrendering instantly. Marcus moved through the scene like a ghost, disarming one suspect, then another, reading fear, spotting lies before they formed. He stopped one man mid-step, ripping his wrist before the gun cleared the waistband. "Don't," he said quietly. The man dropped the weapon. In minutes, it was over. No shots fired, no civilians harmed. Dozens of weapons seized, and a major criminal operation dismantled before it ever reached the streets. As the suspects were taken away, the canine sat beside its handler, breathing steady, eyes still scanning. For the dog, the work wasn't about praise or reward. It was instinct, sharpened into purpose. The handler knelt, resting a hand on its back. "Good job," he whispered. Marcus watched the scene from a distance. No satisfaction, just relief. He knew how close things had come to spiraling into bloodshed. He'd seen cities torn apart by weapons like these. Tonight, that future had been erased quietly. As dawn crept over the water, the warehouse stood silent again. Empty, for real this time. The city woke up unaware of what had nearly happened. People poured coffee, kissed their kids goodbye, drove to work. They never knew how close violence had come to their streets. And they never needed to. That was the point. The canine unit drove away as the sun rose. The German shepherd watching the horizon through the window, alert as ever. Somewhere out there, another threat would form. Another secret would hide behind concrete and lies. And when it did, it would face the same truth. No matter how well criminals plan, no matter how much money they spend, they can't hide from instinct, especially not from a dog trained to smell the truth. Thank you for being here. Until the end, it's a pleasure to tell you my first story. Subscribe for more content like this.